Good evening to the world, to the American people, to the veterans. I like to say I am Jesha Miller. You have just saw this Friday a march on Washington to stop police brutality. Previously, before that, you protested across the country George Floyd, police brutality. I am empowered to stop police brutality. I am empowered to stop inequality. Black lives pay attention. I am empowered by the Constitution's checks and balances to stop social inequality. I am empowered by being the petitioner of the Constitution's checks and balances. Here, and you may have to put it on pause, but this pertains to the Constitution's checks and balances. The checks and balances are petitioned when an entire branch of government is corrupt. I am that petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances, having irrefutable evidence that the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. As you will see, once again, you can put it on pause when you have to. The Constitution's checks and balances. The system of checks and balances is a fundamental part of government. Historically, it has worked and it is currently being used throughout government. It balances the power of each part of government and allows the government to run properly. One law in the system of checks and balances is the law that allows the citizens to challenge any law that they feel is unjust. Once the law that they feel like it is passed, and they can challenge it and bring it to the law, to the court. The law is then debated between the lawyer representing the law and the plaintiff. I am the plaintiff. I am empowered to do this. You see, I'm not talking about a position such as the senator. I'm not talking about a position such as President Trump has. I'm not talking about a House representative. Totally different. I am empowered to stop police brutality by the Constitution, checks and balances, requiring that branch be checked. You see, the checks and balances to stop police brutality, the courts control the police, and they are allowing this to go on. Now there's a challenge. Me, sent to represent against their best man, as I once said also. You're barking up the wrong tree. This is a part of the Constitution requiring that they be checked for this. And then as I prevail, as I said, I have irrefutable evidence the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. Now, first of all, I'm going to stop all the shaking because I see y'all shaking. And I ain't talking about we the people. These are the government officials that have to be checked, and they have refused to be checked by the Constitution's checks and balances, which is mandatory by law. Even under the Code of Ethics, the Code of Ethics clearly states, put loyalty to the highest moral principles and the country above loyalty to government persons. Now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Party or department. Number 2, uphold the Constitution, laws, and legal regulations of the United States and all governments therein, and never be a party to its invasion. And as we go down to number 9, it says to expose corruption wherever discovered. Being the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances. While y'all was out there marching on Washington, while y'all was out there protesting these brutality and fatal deaths by the police, which are not held accountable, that's where I come in at. The Constitution checks and balances is what holds them accountable. The entire judicial branch of government must be checked for corruption. Congress must be checked for neglecting the Constitution's checks and balances, which is mandatory by law. Y'all been looking how to stop this. I've been here all the time. I done told you once, twice, and 3 times a charm. It's time, baby. LeBron James and all the rest of y'all taking off y'all games, whatever. It is one thing you need to do. Be of one accord. Demand the Constitution checks and balances, which he doesn't really supposed to have to do because the government is corrupt. Being corrupt, the president himself has evaded the Constitution checks and balances. I just thought I saw the Code of Ethics said, expose corruption wherever discovered. It said uphold the Constitution. This is mandatory by law. What part of mandatory you don't get? Because they get it. They evade it to keep on doing what they're doing. You see, this police brutality goes way back to Jamaica and the islands, where we was dropped off coming from Africa, or should I say Africans were dropped off, because I was here when Christopher Columbus got here. You check the pictures and you see my ancestors was already in America, because we already knew the world was round, y'all thought it was flat. So let's get it down. Now, I said I am empowered because I am the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances, and here you have it. Yes, President Trump honored the checks and balances petitioned by veteran United States Air Force Jesha Miller, mandatory by law, being an essential part of the Constitution and an essential part of the Constitution, a fundamental part of the Constitution. This is what government has evaded in defiance of the Constitution to continue this. When they dropped them off in Jamaica, what they was doing was they was chopping off their feet. They was cutting out the babies out of the women. All of this to instill fear. And that today is still what's going on, of why you got police brutality, to instill fear in you, to keep you, as Jay say, quote, quote, in your place. But I have a status quo. My status quo being the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances, politically, as I stated, I am empowered to stop police brutality. I am empowered. That's that power to do this. You see what I'm saying? Not by anyone's. This is what the Constitution's checks and balances say. This is the supreme law of the land, and not the president, and not Congress, and not Nancy Pelosi, or none of the rest of them have honored the Constitution checks and balances so that they stay in power, because at the time the truth shall prevail. I'm that one y'all looking forward to do this. Because like I said, otherwise, this is how it's supposed to be by the supreme law of the land. They had to be checked. Then you balance it out. You make it how it's supposed to be right. That's why they call it checks and balances. My evidence is irrefutable evidence. That's why they shut me out. There you see it. I am the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances. Each and every one of them was supposed to expose corruption discovered in the judicial branch of government. But they did, none of them did this. Okay, now as we go through this, as I said, Congress fails, neglecting the Constitution checks and balances, which is what? Mandatory by law. They are obligated morally and by law. Well, morally is the Code of Ethics, what I just showed you. Now, as we proceed, The checks and balances takes precedence over all matters. What we are talking about right here is that the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. And when the United States Supreme Court is corrupt, that's the entire branch of government, because it's an appellate court system that appeals all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. And if you get up there and it's corrupt, the whole system's corrupt. I'm on, baby. I'm in. I am a part of this. I'm a major in, I'm the major in this. Now, as we continue, you refuse, checkmate, and lay the king down. President Trump, this is news all around the world. International news. The President Trump cannot be run for office. Matter of fact, right now, because he refused to honor the checks and balances, took an oath of office to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, and now he acts in defiance by refusing to honor the Constitution's checks and balances. Adios, amigo. Oh, Trump. Ask one of them workers you got working for you to translate. Get up and go, bo. Yeah. This is major to the humanity. Yes. Humanity. The checks and balances stop inequality and social injustice, restoring the rights of we the people. I'm telling you how this works. Holds officials accountable and stops police brutality by holding them accountable for the deaths of unarmed black men and 27 shots fired and unarmed, and you just seen them shoot the man in the back 7 times. I'm just saying. I'm that man y'all need to be seeing. I was supposed to get national coverage for this. Nope. The media covered it up. The media is in cahoots with them. That's how you got a government cover up. The media had to be a part of that. As I said, their job is not to shoot to kill, but to bring citizens to justice for trial. I'm just saying, that's why they say they're supposed to bring them in. Preserve and protect. You see what I'm saying? Now, in addition to this, as being the petitioner, this started at $50 million. They had no intentions of doing anything right. Now, what I'm about to show you right now, I am empowered. Why? Because the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. I said the United States Supreme Court is corrupt. Check this one time. When I say what I say, these are data. You see the seals. You see these filings in the courts. Takes precedence over all matters. United States Supreme Court telling them to concede to the Constitution checks and balances, which are essential, meaning mandatory by law, to uphold the integrity of the Constitution. They must be checked. Hello. I'm the checker. The microphone wrecker. About to bust bubbles. Because they've been hiding this from the public. I am empowered to stop police brutality. All you had to do was put me on the front line. Give me the mic. And I could have laid it down. And this is by law. This is by the Constitution. The supreme law of the land that I am empowered to do this by. I am the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances. Been telling you all the time. Like I said, my data, there, you have it. The Supreme Court itself refuses to be checked. Because they caught them. I'm just saying. Once again, they had the code of ethics. Don't none of this mean nothing to no crooks. Don't none of this mean nothing to no criminals. I'm going to tell you what they did. Now, I'm saying that the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. Then, that's our First Amendment right to freedom of speech press. Understand what I'm talking about. Speech, press. Because what I'm talking about is a public concern. It was worldwide protests to stop police brutality. When all you have to do is come and get me, I can lay it down for you. This is by law. This president, Congress, everybody got an answer to what I'm talking about right now. Black Lives Matter, go get the video, put it on for them. I am that person. I am that chosen person. You see, if you were looking to do something, you should have looked for the Creator to get the job done first. I'm just saying. Now, to conceal this from the public, I filed for my First Amendment right to speech press to expose government corruption. They said that if the government stopped it anyway, it's an evil. They said the media can't stop it by censorship because it's an evil. That's an evil that you're hiding and you're continuing to do, killing peoples. This is human lives out here. I'm just saying what it is. Now, federal judge Tanya Pratt, Judge Richard Young, Magistrate Matthew P. Brookman, I got that. Chief Judge Janie Magnus Stinson, Chief Judge Diane Wood of the 7th Circuit, all denied the First Amendment right to freedom of the press to conceal the Judicial Branch's own. Conceal their own corruption and abuse of power. I'm just saying. There it is. Yeah. You put that on pause. That names those judges that concealed this from the public by denying the guarantee. What part of guarantee was it that didn't get? That's our guaranteed right to speech press to expose this government corruption. The stuff going on. Like I said, now, if you have evidence, I say this is irrefutable, meaning it's impossible to deny or disprove. On point, as they say. Yeah, he's on point, I'm on point. Yes, that's right. Now, why? CBS, ABC, NBC, MSS, NBC, Fox, CBS, Google News, Washington Post, and the Time Magazine have all violated the First Amendment, which is guaranteed by the First Amendment that is inviolable, meaning cannot be violated. Then the word inviolable came before violated. I'm telling you, all intentions, don't mess with this. What part of guarantee, what they got? And there you go once again. That's all of them. You wonder why you didn't know. Well, you do a little bit of research. You put it in there, how to stop police brutality. Then you find me. I'm that one. I'm the chosen one. I'm going to show you how corrupt this is. Getting past the hardships. It's just a ugly part where government is corrupt and they conceal it. That's why they call it a government cover-up. Now we're going to get down with the get down because as you saw, President Trump honored the Constitution's checks and balances. That's mandatory by law. You already seen him, and you ain't gonna see me. So there you have it. This is real. How to stop police brutality. You see, this has been going on. They always ask for jobs and equality. This is how you get equality. It is in a part of the system that, oh, I must be a genius because I figured it out. It's called the Maryland Doctrine of Exclusion. And as I said, drop it like it's hot. Yeah. We're going to break it off. Burke Miller. This is a legislative correspondent. Reference to the checks and balances. All these going to be the checks and balances because I'm telling you how they hit it. And this is mandatory by law. This is what upholds the integrity. They had to be checked. If you ain't checked, there ain't no integrity. And President Trump can talk all he wants to because he never did honor the Constitution checks and balances. They have to be checked for corruption. They say, hey, you corrupt over, you say, oh, I'm clean. Then you got to be checked. I'm the one that stops police brutality because I use the Constitution checks and balances. What they say, mandatory by law and essential part of the Constitution, else you ain't got no inequality. So this is I changed the game. Now, reference to the checks and balances petitioned by Jesha Miller, that be me, to be taken to the floor of the Senate by Senator Todd Young. There it is. That's right. The senators knew about it. Congress knew about it. Google me up and they would have known about it. It's on YouTube, and they even cut out, wouldn't let you see the YouTubes to conceal it sometimes. So YouTube, been doing wrong. Back to the floor. But Florida Senate by time, whom is my senator in Indiana, and write a letter for appointment to the U.S. Treasury Department, whom owes Jesha Miller. Check one. I changed the game. $3,141,000,000 for the Judicial Branch imposing slavery. Oh, y'all didn't know this was involved, huh? They not only killing you, they're still doing slavery. And I am a veteran. United States Air Force, fly high, baby. Aim high. Get higher than $3.141 billion that they owe me, ain't paid me. And the treasurer needs to be supposed to be arrested. Okay, so here we go. Commence Trump's impeachment. He was supposed to have been impeached. But they did not honor my commitment to Congress. So they leave that out. Now hold on, I'm not good, because that's a fact. That I am the petitioner of the Constitution, checks and balances. I did this. Now here we go. I'm gonna show you real quick and fast. He took it to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, checks and balances. He was supposed to be riding on the horse with me, but he did that other thing over there for racism, discrimination, the evils of allowing the judges to cover this up by denying the guaranteed right to freedom of speech press. Yeah, you can talk to your buddy about it, but this large about the government being corrupt have to be hit the presses, baby. Washington Post, Washington Times, New York Times, where you at? Huh? Time Magazine, where you at? I'm gonna show you what's happening. So, as once again, I'm gonna have to report this. Senator Todd Young must uphold the Constitution, checks and balances, reporting corruption, and cannot be a party to its evasion, having taken oath of office. Morally, he has a duty to inform Congress and the public of corruption and abuse of power in the petition using the Constitution, checks and balances. And third, the checks and balances are an essential part of the Constitution. So, they knew. That's Burke Miller. Legislative correspondent. Didn't tell nobody. Tell you what's happening right here. Now, as we move on. President Trump's petition for action. This mandatory by law has to be executed. Now, show you how corrupt everybody. Let's show you the judges denying freedom, guaranteed right to speech press to inform the public of the government corruption and abuse of power. Now, I did say slavery. Then you got another judge. But then I'm David Kiley. Yeah, still on the seat. Supposed to have been gone when you do things like this wrong. Here we go. At this point, there are no black people in the jury, and there were no black people in the jury panel. We have a right to object to that. I can tell you, I don't believe the law will support it. I already told them. That's against the law. Show you what they did, how much they care about the law, but there's more to it because, like I said, what we're talking about here, my client objects to the fact that there are none of the veneer nor the jury are black people. No black people. And that is based upon an assertion that he is entitled to a jury of his peers. I ain't get no jury of my peers. Air Force aim high, baby. The component of race should be included in the concept of peer. The fact that pop it out, baby. There are no black people in the jury. So it couldn't be no black people in the jury. I'm just saying what it is. And this is what it is, factually. I don't think Indiana's in full compliance with the government motor registration law. As a result of that, we don't get a fair cross-section in the veneer, and as a result of that, my client's rights under the federal and state constitution to a fair and impartial jury as mandated through the 14th Amendment and through the federal legislation, I think that's been violated. So for the record, irrefutable evidence, impossible to deny or disprove there are no black people. You just imposed slavery. Violation said 14th Amendment, took his freedom. That's what slavery is. Take their freedom without being duly processed, violates the 13th Amendment. That's imposing slavery, prohibited by law. This is the law. Now, I'm just saying what it is. Factually, what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? Now, I said that. Clerk rushed to Tanya Platt immediately. And I said, see, they could have did this. It was $200 million then. $200 million. Nope. The First Amendment to freedom of the press is a safeguard to the Constitution and democracy. If they're doing wrong, it got to be told. Can you dig it? So, by denying that, there is no transparency. So I'll read on. The First Amendment to freedom of the press is a safeguard to the Constitution and democracy by exposing corruption and abuse of power. So damaging is this, that not only does it deny a guaranteed right which must be enforced, but it threatens democracy. Because this is an act by a communist government controlling all information given to the public. They control the information. That's communism. Given to the public with no transparency to see what government officials are doing. Why you didn't know nothing about this? They concealed it by denying the guaranteed right. There it is. That's filed in the court. There it is, second page. Hit me with the one and then. If you like, hit me again. We love to Funkenstein. Yeah, it's getting funky up here. You see, because they crooked. You see, that's when it don't smell good. That's what I'm telling you about this. So you see why they hear this from the public. You see what the president was even involved in. Now, that's Judge Tanya Pratt right there. The law ain't no good unless it's being enforced. I'm getting deep. U.S. Attorney General William Barr and Deputy U.S. Treasurer Justin Mucinick. Hit him with him one and then, because I ain't stopping, don't stop till the Mardi Gras. Yes, I am empowered because the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt to stop police brutality, to stop inequality, to stop social injustice by the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, and y'all missed out on this. No, it ain't no miss because it's guaranteed. So come on back, Jack. Oh, everybody on the march. See, the march wasn't about nothing. Y'all done this 2020, 30 times to no avail, because this is how I do. You go get who he sent to do this, and he sent who he chooses to do this. It just happened to be me, or maybe it ain't no accident with what he does, the creator himself. So, I, Jesha Miller, am the petitioner of the Constitution checks and balances which you received last Friday through registered mail. We bored, you didn't do nothing, you received this by registered mail. Registered mail mean you got this, you had to sign for this, and you knew. You knew. This takes precedence over all matters, so whatever you're doing, stop. Call a national press conference because the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. In addition, I'm owed $2,730,000,000 by government, and President Trump refusing to honor the checks and balances, which is mandatory by law. I told y'all once before. There it is in writing. So, now, like I said, the U.S. Attorney ain't doing nothing about this. So, the law is to no avail unless it's enforced. And here we go. This is received by the U.S. Marshals. Oh, all of this, yeah, the data, yeah, that's they stamp. They are part of the corruption. You got, said received by the U.S. Marshals Service. You see what I'm saying? They all in cahoots. Because if the U.S. Marshal Service would have been executed and started arresting the people involved, then we would have surely seen it in the press and the people would have known about it, but the people don't know nothing about it. Black Lives Matter. Well, if you're concealing it from the public, you get no results. If you're concealing it by the public, then those marches and none of that stuff meant nothing. Because you had to come and get the one who he sent that does this through the checks and balances, which is the supreme law of the land. You see what I'm saying? Once again, received by the U.S. Marshal Service. So you got the U.S. Marshals. All of these people are involved in this. Now, once again, I said, here it is. And as you will see, received by the U.S. Attorney. This is U.S. Attorney Thomas L. Kirch. He received these indictments to go and arrest these people involved, concealing the Constitution checks and balances, concealing that I am empowered to stop police brutality, concealing that my status quo, socially, I am worth $3.141 billion. I am one of the richest men in America by the rule of law. They have broken the law. Now, like I said, he ain't done nothing. That was August the 14th, 2020, twin. Yo, HG, Mr. Miles, man, one of the great men. So you see, because to become great, sometimes you just have to hang around great people and some of that greatness rubs off on them, and it's showtime, baby. Once again. Oh, that's the seal. You can feel the seal, baby. And what I'm saying is, this is a court document filed. It says filed. Attention clerk, time sensitive for a national press conference to be called by Magistrate Matthew P. Brookman this August 26, 2020 for the Constitution's checks and balances mandatory by law. Once again, as I said, the entire judicial branch of government is corrupt. I am empowered to hold them accountable by the Constitution checks and balances. And I'm empowered to stop police brutality. Yes, I'm bringing this to you because otherwise it is concealed from the public. Otherwise, all y'all marching was in vain. But, as I said, I've been chosen to do this. You need to look in strong concordances, and you will see my name, Jesha. Don't get confused by the Y and the J. That's me, all day, every day. I'm just trying to say. And what it says, deliverance, rescue my people, salvation, safety, and the welfare, which is $3.141 billion. We will have our own schools, our own banks. Oh, but don't think this is just for us, because with the T and the J and the Max, y'all know everybody gets paid $50,000. See, we're not doing this in the COVID-19 era when people need more than $1,000. We're doing $50,000 to everybody that worked there. You see what I'm saying? That's taking care of we the people. That's where the money comes from, the bottom up of we the people of the United States. I'm going to give you a little common sense thing here before I leave. If the government is corrupt, then it empowers the citizen, which the framers of the Constitution did. Nobody figured that out but me. Now, as this is being done, do it not make sense that they would empower a citizen to restore the guaranteed rights of the Constitution? I'm just saying, does it make sense in your mind that ain't one of those that has been institutionalized by their institutions and trained would do this for the people? It has to be one of us. Being one of us, I'm that chosen one. For everybody out there, all weekend, for all humanity's sake, see, humanities, this is one of the greatest steps in humanity in the new era. That is, the citizen is empowered to do this. Now, to do this, the Declaration of Independence states that it's to be done before a candid world. Everybody gets to say, I have to prove this before everybody. Yeah, I can do that. I said irrefutable evidence. Impossible to deny or disprove. Now, at the same time, I'm supposed to be a billionaire, and they have oppressed me. That's another crime. Continued oppression. Title 18, 241, denying rights, conspiracy to deny rights. Because this has been part of a plan. You see, when ta-da! Snoop Doggy Dogg and ta-da! Signed by the FBI. That's the FBI. Now to show you can go to the FBIRay.blogspot.com and you will see that Christopher Wray took a oath of office to uphold the Constitution, but when petitioned, he refused to do this. You see what I'm saying? Now, pop out. This man gonna do a little. Now we're gonna go back up here. We're gonna pull this up for time, and we're gonna start it up. And I want y'all to hear what he's saying, because he turned around and refused to honor the Constitution, checks and balances. Time for him to go. Get up going. I'm proving that the entire judicial branch of government. Well, we got the FBI. We got his agents in the field. Concealing judicial branch corruption.
I believe to my
Here we go. Get that man in there.
that there's only one right way to do this job, and that is with strict independence, by the book, playing it straight, faithful to the Constitution, faithful to our laws, and faithful to the best practices of the institution. Without fear, without favoritism, and certainly without regard to any partisan political influence. Anybody who thinks that I would be pulling punches as the FBI director sure doesn't know me very well. If I am given the honor of leading this agency, I will never allow the FBI's work to be driven by anything other than the facts, the law, and the impartial pursuit of justice. Period. Full stop. My loyalty is to the Constitution and to the rule of law. Those have been my guideposts throughout my career, and I will continue to adhere to them no matter the test.
Now, once again, that's what he said out of his mouth. And what he was saying was what I read from the Code of Ethics. But what he said and what he did was two different things. He refused to honor the Constitution, checks and balances. He concealed the Judicial Branch's corruption, oppression, organized crime. That's what happens when we got organized crime. Hit him with a one and then. U.S. Attorney Josh Minkler. That's right. Judge, it is complaint supersedes the rules of the court due to complainant is the petitioner of the Constitution, checks and balances, taking precedence over all matters. Immediate restitution of $350 million. There it is. Oh, that's the second U.S. attorney that refused to honor the Constitution, checks and balances because they concealed it from the public. That's the FBI director concealing it from the public. I'm telling you, they all corrupt. They all in cahoots, and now they all caught because now, being the petitioner of the Constitution, checks and balances, I have the power to uphold the integrity of the Constitution by using the checks and balances, and they must be checked. What you think they've been running from all the time? You seen the man just lie. Went on MSNBC. And lied, told the same damn lie when he was petitioned. I'm telling you, go to thefbiwray.blogspot.com and you'll see that he was been petitioned by the checks and balances, refused it. He said by law, he said by facts. I just showed you the facts that they all corrupt. But what is important right now is I'm empowered to stop police brutality. That's for humanity's sake. And all people stand up because no matter who you are, everybody got what's patriotism about upholding the Constitution. Everybody call out. Y'all got to see this. I am empowered to stop police brutality. That is my status quo. And it says especially concerning political and social, of which that $3.141 billion and counting. Now y'all know where to get your justice from. Been barking up the wrong tree. You should have been with who the Creator sent. He sent somebody for this. And thank you very much. And let's get it on. International media. Yeah. All y'all come on in. Come on in. Europe, England, France. Yeah. Everybody. They say the Lord is great. Checking out.